A new one of which will be coming for you this Wednesday. Any thoughts on what Wednesdays will be?
Probably more hot topics. There's a lot going on in the news lately.
There are a lot of blazing hot topics. Somebody else just died. Someone of note just died.
Right now?
When? This morning?
I need an exact time.
I'll tell you. Hold on. Hey, Jeremy.
Yes.
What's going on, Jeremy?
Hey, I might have missed my window to talk about salty snacks, but just a quick question for you, Alan.
That window is always open around these parts, Jeremy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. So if you are salty about the chips, does that make you regular Alan or salty Alan?
Or and pepper, Alan.
Wait, I'm not following.
He's saying you're salty all the time.
I'm salty all the time.
So if you're salty all the time, you're salty about the chips, then that's just regular Alan.
Regular me. I see where you're going. Yeah, okay. Well, sure. I mean, whatever gets you through the night, right? I hadn't thought of it that way, but I don't know. I don't let your conscience be your guide, Jeremy. Right?
All right.
Right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call. Listen, the Better Business Bureau. Speaking of scams, they just released the top 10 scams hitting people in Cleveland in 2021. Everybody's getting scammed.
Everyone is?
Huh?
We're all getting scammed?
Well, not all of us, but a lot of people are getting scammed.
The biggest scams in Cleveland.
Yes.
Browns tickets.
Yeah, I was going to say Browns tickets, number one. Number two.
That's a scam that people willingly take part in, too. There's some
Don't make it less of a scam.
There's some Stockholm syndrome there with Browns tickets. Phishing. That's when they try to get you to buy tickets for the Trey Anastasio solo shows. Ugh. They give you click this link and whatever. Basically, it's things that I would assume no one under 70 falls for these.
So you're like the biggest scams in Cleveland, right? And then you say fishing, and I'm like, yo, are there no fish in the lake?
All of the fish.
We're just selling
Come
lures.
on out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the biggest scam in Cleveland is fishing. Like on the lake.
No, put a line in. Something will come back.
Yeah.
No,
Are you sure? You'll get it. You'll totally get it. I was out there all day. I didn't get one bite. Sometimes they're skittish. You can scare them away. Fishing with a PH.
Got it. Got it.
If I catch that walleye, I'm going to lightly salt it.
Amen. Vinegar on those fries.
Now, again, pH is something you've got to be concerned about when you are fishing with an F, too. The pH balance of the water can really affect the fish
and
with an F. The pH
affects the F.
Affects the F, of which there are two in the word affect. They can really affect the fish with one F in your trying to get them on the hook.
If you are a female fisher, two Fs.
P-H-E-M-A-L-E?
P-H-E-M-A-L-E.
Mm-hmm.
You also need to be concerned with the pH of your body because that can affect the fish.
I've seen commercials to that effect.
You need yogurt.
Speaking of foods, by the way, so I thought, well, maybe
you have to put the yogurt right in there, or you eat it and it works.
No, you get a syringe like a turkey baster, and you suck it up, and then you put it in there, and then your pH goes from 14 to 7. It's crazy.
Oh, that quickly. Mm-hmm. I was going to get back on the yogurt train because I usually don't eat breakfast, and I thought, well, New Year, right? I'll try to amend some habits maybe. And so I'll eat some yogurt in the morning, except I got this yogurt that says no sugar, and I thought it was no sugar added.
No, it's no sugar.
It just tastes like mayo.
Yeah, dude.
I want a little sweetness in the yogurt. I don't need a lot of yogurt now.
Get Greek yogurt.
A lot of yogurt now is like jelly. I don't want that. But
you want a little bit of a treat.
I want a little bit of something. I don't need cookie crumbles on top of it. But I was like, wow, this is awful.
The 000 Greek yogurts have no fat, no added sugar, and something else.
Okay.
And they have like 5 grams of sugar, so it's still like flavored like triple berry or something like that. But it is good.
I'll have to check it out.
Oikos. I think it's pronounced
Oikos. Yeah.
Oikos. Mm.
Or Faye. That's another one. That's straight yogurt.
Tastes like sour cream.
Straight yogurt. Yeah. I mean, it's real good for you, but it's like if you grew up in Iceland, that's what you're eating. So fishing with the pH, huge scam that people fell prey to in Cleveland. Online purchasing, lotteries and fake sweepstakes that people were, we all get all of those emails.
I mean, real sweepstakes are kind of a scam too.
Well, I was
As the resident gambler on the show, real sweepstakes are BS.
Well, but they're not scams.
No,
you know what you're taking.
Right.
You're flipping a coin.
Taking a chance.
That's right. It's the American way. Take a chance at a greater tomorrow.
Yes.
Government grant scams. I was surprised that wasn't a bigger deal last year in the pandemic age. And then there's like fake money orders and fake checks. And I was reading a thing that said that a lot of these scammers specifically use broken English because they're like, if people will fall for that, they will fall for just about anything we send them. So everybody else goes, oh my God, look at this, ha ha ha.
Look at this letter.
Yeah,
this,
I am princess from France and whatever.
And then there's other people like, well, look who hit the jackpot.
I'm the chosen one.
I've got to get all up in this. I met someone at my final Cox Out yesterday. The quarter bagel Cox Out. I met someone who went to school with you. He was a year behind you. He's an organic chemist, and he said he knew you in college, a guy named Robert. And he said, and he and his wife live in Toledo now, and they had come in for the game. And I was chatting with him briefly, and he said he was, when he had come back to Cleveland not long ago, he was very surprised. He realized that he knew who you were
Robert.
from college. Yeah, I was surprised.
I only know one Robert from college. Did he give you a last name or anything else? That
I
might
didn't ask him
suggest-
for a last name, no.
Wait, he was younger than me?
He said he was a year behind you in pharmacy school, and he bailed. He said it was full of dumb bitches. I don't know if that's...
That might have been my fault.
I'm paraphrasing. I doubt that that's what he said. But he's an organic chemist.
That was the class that
who
kept
works
me
for
out of pharmacy school.
Big pharma. Oh, well then there you
Organic chemistry
go.
was the
Organic
only
chems.
class I could not get an A in. I couldn't get anything. I took that class 3 times, C+, or it was a C and then 2 C pluses in a row, and you can only take a class 3 times, and just quit.
Now, were you good at regular chemistry, but just the
Organic chemistry
blew you
is
up?
so friggin' hard.
It is
dude.
very hard, and I would imagine, though, that organic chemistry is crucial to a pharmacy degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because in Toledo, and I'm sure it's like this everywhere, every pharmacy school, but we had a regular GPA and a science GPA. Oh. So even though the C+ didn't knock down my regular GPA too bad, it tanked my science GPA. So I was like, they're like, yeah, you're not good enough to go here.
Science is a liar sometimes.
Was it lying about your GPA, or was it telling
No,
the
I
truth
was
about
very bad at organic chemistry. I just could not wrap my mind around it. You're like drawing pictures to do equations, and you have to bond. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Covalent bonding, ionic bonding.
All kinds of different bonding,
all
but
the bonding.
you have to take
Polygrip.
molecular structures, and it'll have 2 of them. You have to name them, make sure all the bonds are correct, and then you have to add them together to make a third thing.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
It's not
so
impossible
hard.
because a lot of people do it.
Yes, but it is
It's one
very
of the
difficult.
building blocks of life itself.
Well, yeah, it's very important
It's just
if
not
you're going
for
to have
you.
a job like that. But yeah, I could not for the life of me wrap my mind around it.
Was that frustrating to have had that one, if you'll pardon the pun, element keep you from becoming a pharmacist?
It was frustrating that I tried and did not get better several times. That's what made me mad, is that I went from a C to a C+.
You didn't improve. Or
Well,
your improvement was negligible.
Yes, I went from a C to a C+, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to take this one more time.
Yep.
I have to get at least like a B+ for this not to mess up my science GPA. And I couldn't do it. I tried so hard. It was like one of the only subjects in school that even giving it my best efforts, I just couldn't make it click. Mm-hmm. Everything else, fine. A's, A-, B+ at the very lowest. This one subject I couldn't wrap my mind around.
Was this right about the time that you left school and began doing stand-up comedy?
This
Or
is
had
when
you did you switch to another major?
I switched to another major.
You switched to what?
So I did 2.5 years of pharmacy, and then I switched to math education.
You were going to be a teacher.
I was going to be I wanted to do a higher level, so I think it was grades 8 through 12 would have been what I would teach.
Just not organic chemistry.
Not organic chemistry. I loved math, so I took all these extra math
Miss
classes.
Santora, we're going to need you to teach organic chemistry. God damn
Damn
it!
it! No, I took all these extra math classes, knocked them out of the park, A's in every single one, but my education classes were trash. It was when I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, I do not want to be a teacher. No part of me wants to be a teacher. I don't know if I can just be a mathematician. I don't know if that's something you can do. But then in the math education era is when I started stand-up. And that's when I dropped out.
Did you ever have any aspirations of perhaps, even though you couldn't combine those equations in organic chemistry, had you ever thought about becoming a stand-up mathematician? Was that anything that ever...
I mean, you could probably do
You
something like
bonding
that.
with the crowd, that was
Oh.
part of your job.
I have not.
You finally mastered that bonding. You and the
Yeah.
crowd.
Make math funny.
It's hard, but I can't. And Bo Burnham already did that with his song New Math.
Well, that's just
Haven't heard it.
one thing.
It's a good one.
You should do one.
It's
I
all
haven't heard
ma-
his.
it's all
Yours would be
math
the first one I heard.
equations.
Huh?
it's all nerdy math lingo. Plus, I am like 10 years removed. More than that. 11 or 12 years removed from having math on my
11 or
brain
12.
every-
What is it, math lady?
I'm not. I was very good at math for a long time, and then you don't use it, and
But it is a muscle that you can get
I
some...
can relearn it.
Yeah, there you go.
If you put a differential equation in front of me right now,
DFQ. That's a tough class,
I
boy.
loved that class.
But I think stand-up mathematician might be where it's at.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You know, there's nothing. Would you consider a whiteboard a prop? I don't know. Would that make you a prop comic?
Yeah,
Would it?
I'd say.
All right. Speaking of scams, I don't like to see people get scammed. Everybody's having a larf over Westlake's own Logan Paul, who shelled out $3.5 million for rare Pokemon cards that
Insane he has that much money.
they're pretty sure turned out to be fake. So, boy, this is a situation where I certainly hope if you're going to drop that kind of money on something that dumb, that you avail yourself of all the Pokemon nerds to let you know if things are authentic or not.
Do you get insurance on that type of thing?
I don't think so. I think if you buy something from someone
Yeah, but like...
and you spend that kind of money and it turns out that they're not real, I mean, people in the art world get screwed all the time because they spend... tens of millions of dollars on something they think is an original piece, and it turned out to be a forgery.
They don't check the authenticality of it.
You mean like does an original Magritte come with a certificate of authenticity?
I think it should, don't
well,
you?
everything should. You should come with a certificate of authenticity.
I'm authentic as it comes.
Authenticality, Alan. Please.
That's what he said. Authenticality.
I don't know. I just think that when you buy something like that, even if it's not real, like when you spend that much money, it should come with insurance. What if you get home and there's like a crease in it, or like
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where why wouldn't you take it to the person
before
in
you
the
buy
first
it?
place to have it authenticated rather than buy it and then take it to an authenticator?
And that's why I think this is all clout. Like this, they probably just said that he paid $3.5 million for it. These guys didn't get where they were for being stupid. Like they
That's literally how they made their money.
no, they did. They played dumb. No, they played dumb, but they're
Same
not really
thing.
dumb. No, it's not.
Yeah,
you can play
okay.
dumb for when the camera comes on, but I don't think these guys made millions
Kurt
of dollars.
Vonnegut
and
said,
were
"We are
stupid."
what we pretend to be, so be careful what you pretend to be."
No.
Okay.
I pretend to know what I'm talking about a lot.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of smart people out there pretending to be dumb so the real dummies don't kill them. So who knows what's going on anymore?
They pretend to be boxers, and I think it's in the contracts of the
I think if
boxers
you're
that they
getting
fight.
punched in the face, you're a boxer.
Yes, but I don't think they love to claim undefeated, but I think it's probably in a contract saying, like, you have to let Logan or Jake win.
They'd have to pay off those people, though.
Well, the
Yeah, they
loser
do.
makes a bunch of... They
Yeah,
do. The
they
loser
make
makes a lot of money, too.
Yeah, and they just want the credit of being undefeated. They don't necessarily care about being a good boxer.
I'll fight Logan Paul.
He wouldn't get any credit by beating you.
Yeah, he would.
No, anybody could beat you.
Have you seen these guns, brother?
Yeah, you
Look at
probably whip my ass.
You see them? My pythons?
I'd watch that fight.
Yeah. In this corner, organic chemistry. Oh, no, she's down. Stay down! Stay down!
I'm pulling hair. I'm playing. I'm fighting dirty.
Putting
Oh,
gasoline
so
on
you would
his
also be
cheeks.
pretending to be a boxer.
Yeah, me
Pulling
and
hair.
Cody.
Yep.
Yeah, how you gonna pull my hair if you have boxing gloves on?
I'll use my teeth.
Bite your hair.
Bite my hair out.
I'll use my teeth to bite your hair out. All right. Well, there you go.
I'll swing you around by my teeth. Now that would be a fight. It's like Matilda.
Logan Paul allegedly spent $3.5 million on something called the first edition base set Pokemon card box that a lot of people in the community of Pokemon fandom didn't even believe existed. And supposedly he purchased one for $3.5 million. But a lot of people now are saying that those are fake. So if you are out $3.5 million, that means you've already got a lot of money. And you go, look, this is money that I could spare anyway.
You hope.
Well, you do hope. Yeah. But there also seem to be really easy ways to figure these things out too. As you talk to somebody who knows all these things. You know, there are grown men and women who are like uber nerds for Pokemon. Well,
and there's people who like dedicate their lives to not card collecting, but knowing about it. What are those called? Like They don't collect themselves, but they know about
people
it.
Who appraise an appraiser?
Maybe
an
that's
aficionado? A card aficionado?
Why didn't he take it to Antiques Roadshow?
He said, I know, right?
They would have known immediately.
Hey, this grandfather clock that was in the corner of my aunt's garage turned out to be worth $400,000.
I found this spoon in my house.
Stars, they could
right, yeah.
They
Rick
like, I
Harrison.
don't know enough about this, but I got a guy.
That's what I mean.
And they always got that guy
There's
that
people
comes
you
through
can
and
call.
goes, I know exactly what's going on here.
Right.
And you got fake Pokemon cards.
Except the beauty of Pawn Stars. See, Antiques Roadshow is fun because they go, I would put this at about $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then some hill rod falls over because he can't believe that these antique teaspoons are worth
Right.
$4 million. But that's all this guy says. It ain't worth anything unless you can get somebody to give you $4 million.
Right.
Pawn Stars is great because they tell them, this is worth $1 million. I'm going to give you $10,000.
Give me $2,500. Best I can do is
That's
$2,500.
right. Because these are people who need money.
And he's like, I'm losing money on this, man. I'm telling you. I turn around and sell it for 3 times that.
Logan Paul said that he has a company. He met with a company who ensured the authenticality, to quote Poundcake, of these Pokemon cards. So he's meeting with them. Who knows? But yeah, Pawn Stars. I don't know if they're still producing that show. Because I think Rick Harrison, we've had Rick Harrison on the show over the years and multiple times.
Is it the bald guy?
Yeah, the main dude, yeah. Because I think Chumley was getting in some trouble. The old man died a while ago, so I don't know if that show is still on. I think it kind of went out with a whimper and not a bang, but that was the hook of that show. I mean, it was meme worthy, for Christ's sake. They'd be like, well, I got a guy, and he said this is really rare. It's $500,000. I got to make money too.
Listen, man, I'm going to reason with you.
I gave you $27,000.
And those shows were fun, though. That and Storage Wars. I watched a lot of Storage Wars when that was first out. It got old fast, but that first season was very fun.
Storage Wars is
Storage Wars is on in like 25 countries.
It's on everywhere.
Yeah. When we were in Corsica, it was on in French all the time. Yeah.
Well, you got to think too. I wondered that brought like to light. So my mom has storage units because she has a lot of stuff and she's a hoarder, right? But she goes and visits her storage units like often. I don't know what she's doing there. So when that show came out, I was like,
organizing.
Maybe, or adding.
Yeah.
Definitely not subtracting. But when that show came out, I was like, people forget about their storage units? Like, that was an unfathomable thing to me.
Yeah.
People go into default or they die and nobody knew that they had
I
those.
guess that's true, too,
So,
yeah.
like, how many storage units does your mom have? And if she passed away, would you guys know how to track all those down?
Are you ready for this? Each one of us has one for after she dies.
Oh, that's...
So I have a storage unit with all stuff for me.
Oh, so
in it.
she's already willed these to you guys.
Yeah, and my sister has one, and
Now,
every member of every child has a storage
Can you
unit.
look
Has
at
she-
it before?
No.
Yeah, has she kept them secret?
Yes.
So she has.
We're not
I
allowed to
love
see-
this.
We're not allowed to see what's in them until she dies.
So one or two of you could really be sitting on something. Although, let's be real, none of you are sitting on anything.
I have no idea what's in them. Now, here's the
Hoarders
thing.
aren't usually hoarding things of value.
That's what you think.
Okay.
So
accidentally valuable, you mean?
not even, because like when I worked at House of Blues, they changed hot sauce brands. They changed from Cholula to Tabasco. So they had all this really cool like folk artwork, and I had this giant Cholula painting that I loved. And when I moved out of my ex's house, I had nowhere to put it. Or I'm sorry, when I moved into my ex's house, I had nowhere to put it. I had completely forgotten about this painting, right? 4 or 5 years go by. He and I split up. I move into my own apartment, and my mom comes over with my Cholula painting that I had forgotten about. She goes, I put this in your storage unit a couple years ago and figured you might want it. And I'm like, this is the best thing your hoarding has ever done for me. And now that Cholula painting is still hanging in my house. So there are some things like that.
But is it worth anything?
It's worth something to me. I love that painting.
I didn't mean sentimental value. I meant actual value.
But I mean, I'm using it. It's
Yeah.
something that I actually use and look at and enjoy every day.
You
it's not all
enjoy the
trash.
Cholula art.
Yeah, it's really cool painting.
Okay.
And it looks cool in my
What do
dining
you,
room.
so your mom has multiple storage units, but she has possession of the keys
And everything in them, yes.
and everything in them. So upon her death,
We get
rather
to
than
find
like
it out.
rather than like reading a will and to my daughter I bequeath my blah blah blah.
We just get a
She's
key,
already
go find it.
designated. It's like a little post-mortem scavenger hunt.
Kind of,
Little
except
treasure,
there's no. It's not. You're not really hunting. You know exactly where you're going.
Oh, you know exactly where it is.
But,
So she's told you where they are. You don't have to go
No,
find
no,
them.
no, no. I don't know. I don't know where it is, but I know that I have one. I don't have to. She's not gonna. Unless she is gonna leave clues. I have no idea. She very well may.
So get treasure maps.
They might. They could be hand-drawn treasure maps. I don't hate
I've placed
it.
a painted rock face down on the western shore of Coe Lake.
Find it.
Yeah,
Right.
find it, and you'll find
But yeah,
treasure.
Clue, yeah.
Yeah.
she has that. And so we've asked her multiple
Your mom's
times.
the Riddler.
Dude, do you know what's so funny? The older I get, her and I have had a very rocky relationship in the past. And the older I get, the more this kind of stuff doesn't make me mad. It makes me laugh. Where I'm just like, whatever, old lady, like, do whatever you want. We'll do your treasure hunt once you die. But
There could be amazing things in there. You don't know.
we've all asked her multiple times, can we please just go through these things? Because
that
I don't
means-
want to be in the middle of grief and then have to go through all your storage units.
That means that she's paying every month for multiple storage units?
Yes.
Why?
It's a hoarder mentality,
but
man.
that sounds like a lot of money.
It is.
It is. It's a hoarder mentality. They can't help it.
Now, and that's
What
another
if you're a
thing.
hoarder but you have no money?
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
people
the thing.
don't.
That's what you do.
You store
then
it in
you
your
destroy
house.
your house.
But that's,
Oh, wow.
but
That's how
that's
that
what
happens.
happens
I see.
too is if she defaults on those because she doesn't have enough money to pay them, then she loses them.
Yeah.
So
That means
So I
that
might not get one.
the storage company would be stealing your
Items.
yes,
My,
your assets,
Inheritance.
my
your inheritance.
You think I could fight that in a court of law?
No,
This, I don't, she probably doesn't have a will. I can't even say this
So
is in
there-
her
so
will.
there-
this is your
entitled-
will.
she's got a won't.
Yeah, right.
They're entitled to everything that's in that storage unit if you miss like a payment.
It's not one payment. You have,
And you have to default for a couple
yeah.
months
Yeah.
probably. Because you have to pay that stuff monthly.
I know, and that's what my friends who just moved to Arizona, the gays, like they have their entire apartment or their condo in a storage unit. And I'm just like, you just add that into your expenses every month. They're like, well, yeah, when you hop from place to place, you just pay to have an apartment within an apartment because this
Yeah.
storage unit is like a garage. It's not a storage unit. It's massive.
Well, I had all my crap. I mean, I was off the air for like almost a year and a half between Chicago and Cleveland. I had all my crap when I had to move in with Gwen. I had all my crap in storage for like a year and a half.
Well, that's what my boyfriend and I, we have 2 houses worth of stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to throw away or get rid of this. It's all good stuff. I could sell it. But like my dining room table, I've only had it a year. I don't want to sell that. I want to keep it for when we move into a bigger house and need a bigger dining room table. So we talked, he's like, well, we'll just get a storage unit. And I was like, I don't think you understand the trauma that I have to overcome.
That's very triggering for me to get a storage
It really
unit.
is. And he's like,
Yeah.
are you serious? I was like, dude, you don't get it. Like,
My inheritance is in there, all right?
right.
My family crest is that bright orange corrugated metal. I've got to take a break. I'll have another $1,000 to give to you. Another keyword coming around 3:30 with a chance for you to go fund yourself. So be listening for that. 35192 to text for anything else, and we'll be back.